Have you ever just looked around and wondered why some leaders, some organizations, seem to have this incredible impact, while others just fall flat? Well, we are about to dive into a really powerful idea that explains exactly that. And it all boils down to one simple question.
Right? This is the big one. And you know what? The answer has nothing to do with having more money or better talent. It actually comes down to a fundamental pattern, a totally different way of thinking, acting, and communicating that separates the flashes in the pan from real, lasting influence. Today, we're going to uncover that pattern. So to get our heads around this, let's jump in a time machine and go way back to the dawn of aviation. There was this amazing puzzle unfolding. You had two teams with the exact same goal, to be the first to achieve powered flight. Now that quote is about the Wright brothers. But here's the crazy part. They were the total underdogs in this race. I mean, on paper, they absolutely should have lost.
Just look at this comparison. On one side, you've got Samuel Pierpont Langley. He had a massive $50,000 grant from the government, a dream team of experts from places like Harvard, and the press was following his every move. Success was practically a guarantee. And then you had Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had no funding, just cash from their bicycle shop, no fancy connections. Not a single person on their small team even had a college degree. They were driven by nothing more than a dream, a powerful belief that a flying machine could change the entire world. And on December 17, 1903, it was the believers, not the team with all the cash, who actually took flight.
So, what was their secret weapon? It wasn't just luck. The answer is all about understanding the difference between how most companies try to get us to act and how the truly great ones inspire us to act.
When you really break it down, there are only two ways to influence people's behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. And most of the time, whether we realize it or not, we're being manipulated. Now that sounds sinister, but it's not always. In fact, these tactics are literally everywhere. Okay, first up, price. It's the classic go-to tactic, right? Dropping prices definitely works to drive sales, but it comes at a huge cost. It eats away at your profits, and even worse, it destroys loyalty. You're basically training your customers to never ever pay full price.
Then you've got promotions. You've seen them all. Buy one, get one free. Those complicated mail-in rebates. And yeah, they can create repeat business for a little while. But as soon as that special offer is gone, guess what? That supposedly loyal customer is often gone too.
Oh, fear is a really powerful one. It works by pushing our emotional buttons, right? It makes us choose the quote-unquote safe option just so we can avoid a bad outcome, even if it's not the best choice for us in the long run.
Aspirational messages are all over the place. They promise us we can be a better version of ourselves if we just buy this one thing. It's what gets someone to buy a gym membership in January, but it's inspiration that actually gets them to show up in July.
And finally, there's novelty. Adding a new feature and slapping the word innovation on it. Remember the Motorola Razr? It sold millions and millions of phones for a while, but it wasn't a real innovation that created a lasting advantage. It was just the newest shiny object.
So here's the bottom line. All of these tactics actually work. They can drive sales, they can get votes, they can influence behavior, but what they can't do is create loyalty. See, loyalty is when people are willing to turn down a better product or a better price just to keep doing business with you. Manipulations, they only lead to one-time transactions.
Okay, so if manipulation isn't the long-term answer, what is? Let's go back to the Wright brothers for a second and uncover the framework that all great, inspiring leaders use, a lot of times without even realizing it. It's called the Golden Circle.
This one simple idea makes human behavior surprisingly predictable. It explains exactly why we do the things we do, and it gives us a clear roadmap for leadership, for marketing, for building a real movement, and it's all built on three simple layers.
Right at the very center, the heart of it all, is your why. And listen, this is not about making money. That's just a result. Your why is your purpose, your cause, your core belief. It's the real reason you get out of bed in the morning. And you'd be shocked how few people or companies can actually put this into words.
Next up is your how. These are the specific things you do to bring your why to life. Think of them as your guiding principles, the stuff that makes you special or different from everybody else.
And finally, on the outside, you have your what. Every single company on the entire planet knows what they do. These are the products they sell, the services they offer. It's the easiest thing to identify, but here's the catch. It's also the least inspiring.
Okay, now here is the absolute game changer. Most companies communicate from the outside in. They start with what they do, and then maybe they'll mention how they're different. But inspiring leaders and organizations, think about Apple. They do the exact opposite. They communicate from the inside out. They always start with why.
And that right there, that's the core of this whole thing. We're not just buying a product, we're drawn to the belief behind the product. The products themselves, the whats, they're just the tangible proof of that belief.
And what's so cool about this is that it's not just some feel-good marketing theory. The power of the golden circle lines up perfectly with how our brains are actually wired and how we make decisions. It's biology.
So if you look at a cross-section of the human brain, it's pretty amazing. The levels map perfectly. That outer what circle corresponds to our neocortex, the newest part of our brain. It's responsible for all our rational thought and language. But those inner why and how circles, they correspond to our limbic brain, which is responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. Oh, and by the way, it's also responsible for all our behavior and all our decision-making.
This is the biological reason for what we call gut decisions. You know when something just feels right? You're operating from your limbic brain. And because that part of the brain has zero capacity for language, we find it really hard to explain our choices. We say stuff like, I don't know, it just felt right. And then we try to rationalize that feeling with tangible facts and figures. So we come right back to this essential truth, because it is everything. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. When you communicate your why first, you're talking directly to the limbic brain, the part that actually controls behavior. If you start with what, you're just talking to the analytical part, and you're completely missing the real decision maker.
And that's really the question that it all comes down to. Knowing what you do, that's the easy part. But knowing why you do it, that's what separates those who just manipulate from those who truly inspire. It's where the ability to build trust, to build loyalty, and to start real movements truly begins.